I'm Shae Russell from mining.com.au, and joining me today is Dr. Mike Jones, the Managing Director for Impact Minerals. Mike, it's great to see you again. How are you?
Shae, I'm very good, thank you, and a beautiful day here in Perth.
Please enjoy that gorgeous sunny weather that you have out there. But we're not here to talk about the glorious sun in Perth today. I would love to talk about some of the announcements coming out of Impact Minerals. It's clearly been a busy few days for you. Now, you've recently announced a maiden measured resource for the Lake Hope High Purity Alumina project. What does this mean for the project and for Impact Minerals?
Yeah, Shae, so a measured resource is really just a definition of how confident we are that the grade of alumina that we're looking to mine from the top 2 metres of our salt pans at Lake Hope, 500 kilometres east of here in Perth, is actually there. It's a simple thing. It's a matter of how confident we are in the geology and the chemistry and the mineralogy within that area. And that really just means that we've drilled it out to enough density to be very confident of the material that's there. Now, that's very significant because when you've got a measured resource and you're confident in it, you can then add economic studies and further mining studies, and you can put out what's called a reserve statement. And that's very significant for investors because it means that we're passing all of the tests to demonstrate that this project is economically viable. And that statement, the reserve statement, we're looking to get out at the same time as our pre-feasibility study, and that's looking to be completed in Q1 of next year, just waiting for all the final documents to come together, get all the numbers together, put the economic model together early in the new year, and hopefully towards the end of next quarter, we'll be good to go with the pre-feasibility study. And the significance of that is that that will trigger Impact becoming an 80% holder of the project, and also the intellectual property behind it, which is built around the processing of the unique minerals that we've got there. So very significant announcement for us.
It certainly is. And then the very next day, that announcement was followed by a $512 research and development rebate. How does this benefit the Lake Hope project?
Well, you'd be glad to know, Shae, that it was $512,000, not $512. So that's going to really help us finish off the pre-feasibility study. And I think we should leave this in. It's all part of the interview. And that is actually going to add to the federal government grant that we announced previously a few weeks ago of $2.9 million, which is in conjunction with CPC Engineering, who are doing all our engineering studies on the HPA plant we're looking to build, and also Edith Cowan University, who have world-leading technology in membranes. And we're looking to be able to use those membranes to clean up our reagents, reuse them, and also look after our wastewater stream and basically close a loop to have a zero discharge project at the processing plant. So that research grant, we actually managed to convince the government to start early. We had a kick-off meeting yesterday. First money's in that, should be in the bank by the end of this month. And so we're getting an accelerated start. And the principal outcome of that in the next 12 months or so will be to complete a pilot plant. And that pilot plant is crucial for our ongoing marketing activities because it will provide us with material, HPA, of consistent quality and quantity that we can then start to get offtake agreements. And that's really when customers will start to take you seriously, when they can see a beautiful pilot plant, it's all operating, and we're looking to scale up our successful bench tests up to that pilot plant scale, and that'll be a big goal for us in 2025.
I have one job, Mike, and that's to speak clearly, and clearly I failed in that question beforehand. Now, just to round this interview out, and what a big week of news it has been, let's talk about the Burrendong Minerals IPO. Now, I've had the good fortune to speak with Mark Rampey, who is in the process of bringing this project to market. Now, I'm really excited about any assets out in the Lachlan Fold Belt. Tell me, what is Impact Minerals hoping to achieve as part of this IPO?
So Impact was set up, as you know, Shae, to find a world-class deposit. They are few and far between. And one of the key projects that we had in that particular strategy was the Commonwealth project. It's in the Lachlan Fold Belt, home to giant deposits like Katy Ridgeway, which is north of 30-40 million ounces of gold, 10 million tonnes of copper. The project's immediately adjacent to the Boda Kaiser discovery of Alkane Resources the last 5 years, 8 million ounces of gold, quite extraordinary discoveries, but also a project called Woodlawn, which is what people might know as a VMS, volcanogenic massive sulfide. That's being brought back into production by none other than Bill Beaumont in the company called Develop. And a common form of one of these VMSs However, it's very unique. It's the only deposit we think in Australia that's like Eskay Creek. Eskay Creek is in the Golden Triangle of British Columbia, which is one of the richest corners of the planet for metalliferous deposits. That deposit has got something in excess of 15 million ounces of gold at an average grade of 40 grams a tonne, and it contains 360 million ounces of silver. It's one of the world's great deposits. And it has a set of minerals, it has a geology, and has alteration around it, which is fairly unique at Eskay Creek. And Commonwealth has literally identical patterns associated with it. And so we've always believed there's huge upside there, and we're looking to get the project into Burrendong. They'll take a 51% interest when it lists. We'll be the largest shareholder, and we'll still retain 49% interest in the project to begin with, and they'll earn another. So we've always believed in that, the project has great upside, and so we've worked hard to make sure that Impact and its shareholders retain a significant shareholding in that project as we go forward. So if you haven't looked already, get to burrendongminerals.com.au, download their prospectus and take a look, and we hope to have you on board as a shareholder.
Mike, I'm going to throw in an extra question for fun. Mostly maybe for me, maybe not for you. Let's find out. We've talked a lot about what's happened this week, but we haven't really sort of looked forward to, what the activities Impact has planned for the next 6 weeks, and also to, starting that first quarter in 2025. So I guess the short version of that question is, what's ahead?
So obviously we mentioned the completion of the pre-feasibility study. That's what we're all focused on at the moment, and looking to do that in the first quarter. We've got the kickoff of the R&D program and building that pilot plant. We've got a meeting today, in fact, to look at long lead items that might need to be ordered to make sure that pilot plant gets up and running. And a big focus next year is to get a version of that pilot plant up and running and start to produce material to get into the marketing of the product to potential customers. So those are the two big goals. In the background, hopefully we get Burrendong listed, and we'll have some drilling going at our Arkan project in the wheat belt. We got an EIS, a WA government grant to drill that, $180,000 co-contribution. And we're looking to gear that up again end of next quarter, first quarter, second quarter of next year. That's to drill some pretty exciting copper targets. And we're trying to resurrect our Broken Hill project as well, which has been a little bit dormant because there's a lot of corporate activity. And again, going back to our strategy, we've always got ground holdings in very prospective parts of Australia, and Broken Hill, Commonwealth and Arkan fit that bill. And of course, Lake Hope, world-class deposit in our view. It's going to be a fun-packed year in 2025.
Listen, Mike, there's an awful lot happening and a lot to come. Thank you so much for being here today. It's been a great chat.
Thanks very much, Shae.